I said we'd be back, and gosh darn it, we're back. Cool drinks stink. Nice work, but the river is still gummed up. I think I might know someone who can help. There's a magic tree here at the jungle outpost that can feel Fuse's infection in its roots. Completely forgot about the tree with the face on it. Faux Coco, the Creeper King's leafy claws sort of look like Coco's hair, don't you think? These monster parts should attract those creeps and keep them away from Coco. I need some more help though. We gotta find something in the shape of her head. I think a grabber, granite, pincer might do the trick. For now, let's talk to Mr. Magic Tree here. If you push some of the leaves into my twisted river, you will purify the water. Interesting. So defeat 11 Creeper Kings, and then we need a drop from the granite. Simple enough.
This is the kids next door. How are you receiving?
And before angrily talking to me, like, I'm doing your stuff, buddy. What are you guys again? 16, 14? I'm trying to remember at what point do not draw aggro from enemies anymore. And I think it might be 5 levels, just to make what I'm saying right now so much more viable.
Number 1. Don't worry, I got you. Let's go to work. Don't worry, I got you. So long.
You called?
Come on now.
Number 1. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. First aid.
There you go.
Nigel Uno reporting.
Do my vehicle. Do this.
Very well.
So I've recorded the last few missions back to back to back here. Nicely done. Now release the river, and I gave to you. Let's take this line here because the granite's here. Nothing much new in the community. Recently, in the past few videos, I talked about like what was popping on the FusionFall forums back in the day. I'm trying to spin you another tale of what else was there. All I know is that I was farming up like some karma in the forums by posting a lot of answering like general questions and stuff. But I don't think I ever once posted in like the off-topic section, mainly where people were talking about you know, the Cartoon Network shows and different media and stuff, and there was like a lot of like role-playing happening over there as well, which you know, to each their own, but I'm just not jiggy with that. Typically, I'm trying to remember what else. Turn to Mac, turn to number 4. Oh, just like that, huh? I thought I'd be here for a little bit longer, but I guess not. Do these take me back to Mount Blackhead, just for future reference?
This is the kids next door.
I'll follow instead, never mind. I don't like the way these guys are looking at me. Another person that used to post a lot, not immediately, kinda later on, at the very least. Oh, that's what the gold cocoa egg is. Okay, so this actually might take me back to Mount Blackhead, which is super not. I don't want that. There we go. Was someone called Jivini, and I think it was spelled Jvinii, and I specifically remember Jivini for 2 different reasons. One is that because that MFer was posting in the forums, like, it seemed like he was there like 16 hours a day, and like I mean, no shame to him, I could be over exaggerating that number, but the amount of posts that he was doing in like a day, and the amount of posts and replies he accumulated within like such a short time period was kind of insane. I'm like, whoa. Is this person named number 49? Just for reference, I'm curious. Number 45, yeah, okay. Yeah. Granite Grabbers are strong. All we need is something that looks like Cocoa Mouth and Cocoa Decoy would be complete. But what is it? Freakish frogs. Alright. Get original, man. Cool drink stink. Good job, the Twisted River is clean for now, but I'm worried about that infected zone. Buddy, don't even talk to me about that infected zone. Okay, useless. You're all useless. Okay. Why don't we... Do I want to just go to Belladonna and make a pit stop over in that area? What am I fusion matter? I'm fine. Sure. Why don't we go talk to Belladonna quick? I'm more incentivized to do things because of the fast vehicle, even though I don't like spending that much money. Back to Jivany. The second reason why I remember him so much is because framework, this is like 2011. I don't want to disclose my age, but I was like too much, but I was what, like 15? Like 15 or around that age where I'm a teenager, I'm in high school. And I think I was certainly, you know, like all young kids around that age, I was certainly more moldable and impressionable by outside influences, namely like different media properties, what's going on in the world, what's going on in your friend group, all that nurturing versus naturing cause and effect there. And around 2008, I started getting really more so into specifically music and movies, whereas like from 5 years old I was just pretty much exclusively like video games. Music didn't interest me, movies didn't interest me. I mean, I guess the music isn't that surprising because I was 5, but you know, when I'm like 8 years old, you know, I have a CD player and whatnot. Drop your weapons. Okay, you're just a Mark Hero, but I'll pick you up for now. And I'm getting a lot of music influence from my brother, and don't worry, this ties into Jivany for sure. I'm getting more into musical influences. My older brother, I feel like me and my older brother could really not have more different music likes. He likes a lot of death metal, screamo, heavy rock, getting a little into like alternative. I mean, I like alternative and like the indie folk that he sometimes likes, but nothing of like the hard rock variety outside of like 9 Inch Nails, Deftones. Those are pretty much my gates of entry and exit there. Rune of View.
Would you like a
Limit translated Rune to Gwen.
stopping by? Text me.
Don't Fear the Reaper. Okay.
Would you like
More bucks. I think I want to go back and just
Text me.
fill out these wild missions before I go back to Morbuck's Tower, because we're gonna be here for the Nano mission. Anyway, when I was, you know, 8, 9, 10, those music ages, I was like more so into like pop music, and then entering high school, I became much more influenced by, I would say, not super relevant pop music, but more so pop music that's not super popular, like nothing chart topping. I can't give you examples because it wasn't really that interesting, but I also got a lot really into like hip hop and whatnot. Kid Cudi and Kanye West and Common were like the things that I think really opened the barrier of entry for me into hip hop, and I, you know, started listening to more of the oldies and following up more on the current age of rappers and whatnot. But basically, I feel like my the explorer of indie music and more under the radar stuff was lacking a little bit. So I think my first introduction to that was actually through Jivany. And it's not because Jivany was really recommending music when he was posting. There wasn't really a lot of that as far as I remember in the forums. I mean, I'm sure there was some kind of music discussion at some point, but I don't think I ever partook in it. I mean, that's all got to be like off-topic stuff. But you know, you have a profile in the FusionFall forums, and I think Jivany's profile said like one sentence, and then I think you could put like a URL or like a homepage, which, I mean, looking back now, that was kind of crazy, especially because it could be a YouTube video. And okay, that's number 45. Yeah, maybe you couldn't post like any. I mean, I didn't try to post. I don't think I even had a link necessarily. Maybe I did because I had this YouTube back then that I didn't really put any time or effort into. But Jivany's like homepage, like URL, was just a YouTube channel for Lights. Lights is a Canadian musician who at the time pretty much, and still to this day pretty much, makes like electro pop music. And I feel like that was my first introduction to actually listening to music that goes like under the radar and like a true taste of a independent artist. The prophecy says our planet has an ancient magical defense system, yada yada yada. We have to activate them before Fuse does. Understood. But do either of you have missions? You do not. It's just the Mac mission that remains. So, from Jivany, I found out, like, I got an introduction to, like, a whole new world of music, pretty much. And, you know, listened to and, you know, discovered like one of my favorite musicians who would be one of my like top 5 favorite musicians for like the next 10-ish years, I feel like. You know, I still wasn't too deeply involved in like independent music, but you know, like Lights, City and Color were like my favorite go-to like independent artists that were both Canadian, by the way. But yeah, so I have to thank Jivany for that. And I think that's such an interesting thing to come out of my experience, not only with this game, but on the forums of all places, where I didn't really think there'd be a lasting impact or I mean, there's meaningful discussion, but I should place it in the category of like a lasting impression, or like a huge mold on your life and your personality and your somewhat of your lifestyle. God, I'm still not 100% over this cold that I got almost 2 weeks ago now. Like, I got it over Christmas. I'm still kind of snotty from time to time, but besides that, I feel completely fine. It's just, especially when I engage in conversation for an extended period of time, I might pass away here. That's a notch in the wall here.
So long.
You called?
Frogs are just, I don't have to go all the way over here, right? There's a big guy. Kind of want to fight the big guy, but
Don't worry, I got
I think that's like the most significant way that FusionFall personally impacted me as a person. And
this will help.
and I know I mentioned this before, but like in a super early video where like I think like my volume mix was like pretty effing horrible anyway, so you might not be able to hear me, but I came back to this game because you know, I looked more into it. Just, you know, just like the random thoughts you have once in a while about past things you did or you indulged in, and I just did more research on the game and whatnot and came with this, and I was like, oh yeah, I knew about its existence because someone on, I think from my YouTube, someone added me on Discord, or I can probably find out when I joined these FusionFall Discords, I assume, but I was talking to someone in 2019 about like them playing the game and like what I was doing at the time, and it was just like so, I don't even remember what I was saying, but I was just like, oh yeah, that was a fun part of the game or something like that. So this, I'm gonna go back to the Yoopy Doopy here. I have 100,000 fusion now, but trying my hand, you know, I came back because I wanted to try something new, especially if like video recording and editing, because I have a project for work that a side project at work that I'm doing, which requires me to do a little video editing and creation. So I thought, you know, a good way to practice would be this, and you know, lo and behold, here I am now. Just a guy swinging on a vine. What's become of Jivany? I don't know. I wish I had that answer. I know, like, I still have, like, one connection from my FusionFall days of someone that I hung out with a lot, but besides that, I don't, like, have any connections with any FusionFall people. They used to, I think there was like a chat room called like Zat, like XAT or something, and I used to be in there a lot with a small handful of different FusionFall related people, including SS Ulse, who, you know, primarily known for doing artwork. I don't even know if she's around anymore, if they are around anymore, but I felt disappointed in myself because eventually I stopped going to that chat room as I was aging up and, you know, less engaged with the community. Even after, you know, FusionFall, the nail in the coffin for FusionFall,
Where are you headed?
I was going to that chat room less and less, and on top of that, once FusionFall shut down, there was another acquaintance that made like there were like a handful of people that wanted to make their own FusionFall forums to like migrate some semblance of the, what's the best way to get them more bucks? Probably just fly or run over there. Some semblance of community going from FusionFall to these forums, and I don't have the link for the forums anymore, but like I think I was a moderator or an admin, and I just did not devote any time or anything into it really, because it's just, you know, most of the community was moving on at that point, and what engagement was on that forum wasn't interesting enough to engage with. So I mean, I'll probably talk more about like these emerging forums and whatnot in the next video, if I can recall, because I'm just about at the end of this bulk recording session here. But yeah, I mean, I know like a handful of people that I was acquaintances with probably are still subscribed to this YouTube channel, if they're still, you know, active on like even their childhood, teenage YouTube is another question, or as if they even pay attention to stuff like this anymore is another question. But yeah, but again, I just kind of have the one personal acquaintance from the game, a person that I hung out with a lot in the game that we reconnected like 2 or 3 years ago, just exchanged a few messages, and that was it. And that's the extent of, you know, who else I'm engaged with in this game. And I don't really know like any people in this Retrobution community that well, because I'm not really engaged in the Discord that much, because I would say mostly because of time, but it's also because of interest. Yeah, but either way, this is the end of my recording session for now, and I think my partner might need help with something, but yeah, it's nice reflecting on this kind of stuff. Until next time, we're going to be doing just what seems like 4 or 5 Warbucks Towers missions, and then we're going to be at the end of the line here almost, and in another video or two we'll probably get the Nano. We'll be 20, and then I think in my 20s I want to be smooth sailing and actually maybe go back and clear some of these missions at the very least, and also try my hand in a few races. So that's what I anticipate I'll be doing in my 20s, as I kind of slow down the initial grind to get to 36. But either way, ta-ta for now, everybody.